All right, ladies and gentlemen. We were very rudely interrupted by the bell last class. Huh? No. You just had 6 minutes. This is not my problem. So you were panhandling for change? No. We were rudely interrupted by the bell last class, and we got to this point. And we factored. Now, of course, that leaves us with that equals 0. We have seen this 1,000 times this year. What are the values of x? He waited patiently. -2 and +14. And the last thing we do is we check if it works. Now, a great many of you still, to this day, fear fractions. Now, all of you need to be aware that when you got to that point, you have the exact same thing as that without any fractions. Okay? Because this is where we got to when we found a common denominator and put it all together, correct? So you can check these numbers in here, so you needn't be scared of fractions. The first thing we check, x wasn't ever allowed to be 0. Was 0 an option? No, so we gotta check them both. What is -2 squared? 4. What is -2 times -12? +24. What is 4 and 24? 28. Is 28 minus 28 0? Yes. So, -2 is right. What is 14 squared? 196. Exactly. What is 12 times 14? $168. 196 minus 168 is 28. Minus 28 is 0. So both those numbers are the answer to this equation. All right? We are going to, Jashin, it's like you're reading my mind. Just to prove it doubly so, x over 4, -2 over 4, minus 7 over -2 equals 3. -2 over 4 is -1/2. Negative is plus 7 over 2. -1 plus 7 is 6 over 2, which is 3. Dun, dun, dun. 14 over 4 minus 7 over 14 is the same as 3.5 minus 1/2. 3.5 take away a half is 3. Dun, dun, dun. And we're good. Everybody's good? Excellent. Now, let us apply all of that knowledge to another question. The first thing we should do is simplify by factoring. Is there any factoring to be done here? Yeah, there is. 2 over what? Z plus 2, Z minus 2. Plus 10 over what? 6 Z, I know it just went out. equals 1 over z minus 2. Does everybody agree that we have now simplified by factoring? Excellent. That was the first thing we were to do. I should have done that in red. I apologize. I didn't. I'm trying to keep my colors. What are my non-permissible values? X cannot equal plus or minus 2. Right? Excellent. Third thing, combine your terms for your operation. We are adding, yes? So when we add, we need common denominators. Agreed? What is the common denominator? Six. Z plus 2, Z minus 2. Agreed? This term has what? I'll change it. This term is missing what part of the denominator? 6. So it needs a 6. What's 2 times 6? 12. Excellent. Plus, what's this guy missing? Z minus 2. 10. Z minus 2. What's this guy missing? 6z, 6 and z plus 2 times 1 is 6z plus 2. Agreed? Now, when everything is over common denominator, do we care about the common denominator anymore? No. So I'm going to cross it out with my big orange felt. And now we will solve for x, which we will do in gray. 12 plus 10z minus 2 equals 6z plus 2. What should I do to solve for x as if I was in the 9th grade? Solve for z. Distribute, collect, and isolate. Just like we've been doing since the 7th or 8th grade, really. 12 plus 10z minus 20 equals 6z plus 12. Now what? Collect like terms. 4z, 12, 12. What happens? Cancel. Negative 20 moves over here and becomes what? What does z equal? 5. Is 5 an allowable answer? Yes, because it is neither plus nor minus 2. We can check it if we wish. Where would be the spot to check it? You could check it anywhere, but the easiest spot to check it would be in the numerator when we had the numerators right here, yes? What is 5 minus 3? 5 minus 2? 3. What is 5 plus 2? 7. What is 10 times 3? What's 30 plus 12? 42. What's 6 times 7? 42. Does 42 equal 42? In every universe I live in. Plus, it's also the meaning of life. One person laughed. One person. Because you don't get it. No, 42 is the meaning of life, according to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Shut up, Noah. They made a movie of it. It was a great movie. Better book, but always is. Everybody good? All right, let's look at the next one. Oh my good gravy. So scary. But it's not. Because it's just like a worksheet I gave you in grade 10 with 12 factoring questions on it, isn't it? You're just going to factor a bunch of stuff. Right? Let's factor. What color am I factoring in? I can't remember. Red. Where can I factor here? Anywhere on the left? Anywhere? No, only on the right, correct? So, 4k minus 1 over k plus 2 minus k plus 1 over k minus 2 equals. I can factor that. What is it? It is it looks like I can factor it, can I? No, good. Can I factor this? To what? Non-permissible values in blue, what are they? Plus or minus 2. 3. Sort out our denominators. What is our common denominator? What does this guy need? K minus 2. What does this guy need? K plus 2. This guy has everything. So, what's 4k times k? 4k squared. Minus 8k minus 1k. What is that? Minus 9k. What's negative 1 times negative 2? Positive 2. Right? Minus. This is k squared plus 3k plus 2. Yes? Equals k squared minus 4k plus 24. Have I got everything over a common denominator? Am I done with my denominator? Yes. So what do I do now? I do what, Sarah? I cross it out in orange, and then I do what? Collect like terms, simplify, isolate the variable, give an answer. Exactly what you have done since the 9th grade. So, what is 4k squared minus k squared? 3k squared. Done. What is negative 9 minus 3k? Negative 12k. What is 2 minus 2? Nothing. Equals k squared minus 4k plus 24. Now what? Move everything to one side. So what are we going to get? 2k squared minus 8k minus 24 equals what? 0. What do you see? 2, 8, 24. Divide everything by 2. What do you see there? It factors to what? K minus 6 and k plus 2 equals 0. So k equals what? 6 and negative 2. Oh! It can't equal negative 2. So is this an answer? No. This is what we call an extraneous root, which we have dealt with before. So the answer is k equals 6. Yeah? Yeah. Nothing new. Just everything you've ever learned in one question. Right? You can see every question takes a lot of work, but every step is a step that you have done 1,000,000 times, isn't it? How many times have you factored trinomials in this room with me? Countless times. How many times have you added fractions in this room with me? Countless times. How many times have you moved equations around to make them look like something you are more comfortable with? Countless times. Right? This is supposed to be your work. Go. I will be walking around and assisting, and because you don't have any answers to this page, in a few minutes, I'll do the first 3. A few minutes after that, I'll do the next 2, and so on and so on. All right? Go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. Please listen. I am begging you to listen. Once again, there is a chance here with the first 2 questions to either A, have memorized a bunch of steps and do a ton of work, or B, remember some math that you already know and make your life easier. Here is what I mean. How do you technically solve this, showing me all your steps? What must you do? First, you've got to simplify. Okay? No, I don't want you to say cross multiply. That's the whole point. To solve this properly, you must get x by itself, yes? So I would need to get rid of this divided by 16, right? So I would multiply this side by 16, cancel, and I'd have x, yes? Then what would I have to do to this side? Multiply by 16, cancel, and I would have 4 times 3, which would be 12. And the answer is x equals 12, right? Technically. Now, please notice that if you've been in my class before, which 90% of you have, whenever you have fraction equals fraction, what can you do? Cross multiply. 4 times x equals 48. X equals 12. Yes? Now, what do you have here? Fraction equals fraction. Can you cross multiply? Yes. Could you go through all the 27 steps that we have been going through the last few days? Of course you could. And you have to sometimes. But for this, you do not. What is 2 times 3? 6. What is x times x plus 1? So, x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. X plus 3, x minus 2. X equals negative 3 or positive 2. X is not allowed to be what? 0. So are those the right answers? Of course they are, right? They have to be. Now, if you don't see that stuff because you're not bringing prior math knowledge to the party, then you're going to run through all the steps I just showed you, right? Right? So just in case some of you actually did that, you'll get the same answers, but look, watch. Common denominator is 3x. That as the x needs the 3. 6 equals. That as the 3 needs the x. X squared plus x. Cross out your denominator and start working. Both ways will get you there. One is easier. The reason I didn't show it to you ever on this page was because it never applied, because this is more difficult. This page is the stuff you can bring stuff to the party. What do I have in the second one? Do I have fraction equals fraction? So can I cross multiply? Yes, because I already know that. You didn't need to be taught that. Just because something looks different doesn't mean you forget the math you already know. So that is 2t minus 2 equals 3t squared plus 2t. Collect your like terms. How do we do so? 3t squared plus t minus plus t plus 2t. What happens? Gone. So I've got negative 2 equals 3t squared, right? Now what? How will I isolate t? I will divide both sides by 3. Negative 2/3 equals t squared. How do I get rid of t squared? Square root. Can I square root a negative number? So what's the answer? There isn't one. It's undefined. There's no number that will work for t there. Is there? Can I do cross multiplying here? No. Now you need all those 5 steps that you had before. Everybody cool? Anybody done that one? Carry on then. Are we ready to move it along to the third one? No? Okay. I will wait. All right, what are we doing with number 3? Because ain't no way everybody's not done it now. What are we doing with number 3? Common denominator, absolutely right. Harkirat, what is it? X and x plus 1. What does this guy need? What does this term need? X plus 1. What does this term need? X. What does this term need? X squared plus x. X and x plus 1, yes? What is 4 times x plus 1? Minus 3 times x equals x squared plus x times 1. X squared plus x. Do I need the bottom now? No. So all I do is collect my like terms and solve. 4x plus 4 minus 3x equals x squared plus x. What's 4x? Take away 3x. He waited patiently. 1x. Right? Plus 4 equals x squared plus x. What do you see? X and x on both sides of the equation. What happens? Gone. X squared minus 4 equals 0. What do I do with that? X plus 2, x minus 2. So what is my answer? X equals plus or minus 2. Does that satisfy my restriction? X can't be 0 and it can't be negative 1. Is it okay? Yes. And we're done. Ugh, number 4. Barf. Go diddly-o. What's negative d plus d? What's negative d plus d? Gone. 2 plus 4? 6. D squared minus d minus 6 equals 0. What is it? D plus 2, d minus 3 equals 0. What are my options for d? 2 and negative 3, and I'm done. Yeah? Huh? Oh, you're right. Any factoring there? You guys go ahead and work on it, because apparently. In the fourth one, there is something that I said not to do, but it makes your life easier if you do. Here is what I mean. What does this need? Because I've done my common denominators. What does this one need? What is this missing? X minus 1. Now that is a big ol' polynomial expansion, yes? X cubed plus x squared minus x squared. X cubed plus x minus 2. When I expand this all out, I trust you to be able to do that. Minus, now here's where we're in trouble. This needs both, right? So I know in my head that this is really x squared minus 1, right? So even though I said not to expand, in this case, it does help to expand. Does everybody see what I'm saying here? So this becomes minus x to the third, minus x. Remember, this is minus this whole thing. So what's going to happen to that negative? It's going to become positive, isn't it? Equals x squared minus 5. I haven't even written the denominator. So now I have x third minus x to the third. That's good, isn't it? Because we don't like x thirds. They're gone. X minus x is what? It's what? 2x. Minus 2 equals x squared minus 5. And now it's super easy, right? X squared minus 2x minus 3. X minus 3. X plus 1. X has to be 3 or negative 1. Are both of those allowed? Which one isn't? Negative 1. So my answer is 3. except, is it the exact answer? Because one of those is not possible, is it? Which one? The negative is not possible because you cannot have a negative width, can you? So the exact answer is actually only 15 plus 15 root 5. Right? And the rounded answer, the root of 5 is a little bit more than 2. 15 times a little bit more than 2 is a little bit more than 30. Plus 15 is a little bit more than 45. Approximately 45. Right? And that's where we stand right now. Now listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. To do the next bit, these 2 pages need to be like that. Because the next bit, if you look on the next page, is solving problems. So you got to set up the math for yourself. They don't need to either pay attention or do anything more. Let us move on to page 138, please. Everybody turn to page 138. If we are going to solve a word problem, which is actual real-life use of math, if you are going to solve a word problem, you got to be able to do the math that comes with it. A word problem requires 4 things. The first thing is we must decide on and assign variables to the data I seek. The second thing is I must write an equation. The third thing, I must solve the equation. And the fourth thing, and I'm putting this big, I must answer the question. Because as you saw in the very last question on the last page, the answer to the math was not the answer to the question, was it? Right? The answer to the math was 15 plus or minus the root of 15 plus or minus 15 root 5. That was the answer to the math. That was not the answer to the question. Everybody cool? All right. So let's have a look at this. Tim takes 4 hours to paint a room. Bob takes 3 hours to paint a room. How long will it take if they work together? Some kid always says 7 hours right now. I'm stopping that kid from saying 7 hours right now. Because if I take 4 and then somebody else helps me, how can it possibly take longer? Now, I'm talking about real people, not the way you people do work. Right? So, logically, what must happen here? Step 1, decide on and assign variables. What is the only variable in this question? Time. What would be a good assignation for the... Excellent. T equals time. Oh, wait, I should be doing this color-coded. Excellently done. All right. Now, how long does it take Tim to paint the room? 4 hours, right? Excellent. Tim, I'll change colors. 4T equals Tim, right? What is Bob? 3T equals Bob. Do we agree? Okay. How many rooms are they painting? 1. So if Tim works by himself, 4T of Tim's time will equal how many rooms painted? 1. If Bob works by himself, 3T will equal 1, correct? What do you do as soon as you see an equation? Solve it. So for Tim, what does T equal? 1/4. Yes? Everyone agree? What does Bob equal? 1/3. Agreed? Everybody with me? Okay. Now, if Tim plus Bob are going to paint how many rooms? 1. And Tim's time is T over 4, because Tim does the job in a quarter. Plus, what's Bob's time? T over 3. How many rooms will be painted? 1. Can you solve that? I bet you can. What do we need to do before I can add those two values? Which is what? What does this guy need to do? 3. So it's 3T plus 4T equals, not 1, equals 12. Do I need the denominator anymore? No. So what do? Get rid of it. And I continue to solve my equation. 3T plus 4T equals 12. What is 3 plus 4? 7T equals 12. T equals 12/7. Yes? Which is 1 5/12, right? What's a 1/12 of an hour?
You mean 1 5/7, right?
Or 1 5/7. 1 5/7 of an hour. Do we give fractions that way in time? We'd make it a decimal, yes? What would it be? What would it be?
42 minutes.
43 minutes. 1 hour, 43 minutes. Because 5 divided by 7 gets you a fraction of an hour. Then you multiply that by 60 and you get 43. Nice job, Jack. Everybody get it? Real life problem. But why would you do that? You're going to paint my house. You need a partner. If you don't do some math, you're going to give me an estimate for how much it's going to take you and your partner, isn't it? Right? Now, you give me an estimate that's too high because you can't be bothered to do one question of math. Mr. Radnai walks in and he does one question of math and gives me a better estimate. Who do I hire?
There you go. Tough lesson. Hey, by the way, confirmed. It is here. These guys are hilarious. And 2 brand new administrators. Like,
Yep.
green.
Yep.
Right off.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about number 2. My man James does his paper route in 40 minutes, right? Everyone agree? Okay. So, James okay, dude, let's pretend this room is a neighborhood and everybody needs to get a newspaper. How would we work together? I'd deliver to this half, you'd deliver to this half, or something like that. All right. You have already seen what happened up here. Apply your knowledge. 4 over t was Tim. It became t over 4 when we broke it down into fractions, right? How many paper routes are these 2 dudes doing? 1. What fraction is James doing? T over 4t. What fraction is Jeff doing? T over what? 50. Now, logically, James plus Jeff will complete 1 paper route, correct? Okay, what is James's time? What is Jeff's time? Equals how many paper routes? What must I do to solve that? Which is 200. What do I need there? What do I need there? 5. No, guys. 200. 50 goes into 200 4 times. 40 goes into 200 5 times. I know you want to multiply them together, but you all are aware of how multiplying and division works. Just like, what is the common denominator between 2 and 4? Is it 8? No, it is 4. This needs 5. What does this need? 4. So what do I get? 5t plus 4t equals, what does this need? 200. Because what was his original denominator? 1. Do I need this 200 anymore? No. 9t equals 200. What does t equal? 200 over 9, which is what? What is it? 22, isn't it? 22 minutes. Everybody good? Turn the page over. Have a look at that question.
Oh boy.
I only say this one because I have a wife. And my wife often says this sentence: we need to mow the lawn. We need to shovel the snow. We need to fix the fence. Who is really mowing the lawn, shoveling the snow, and fixing the fence? Me, and me. No we, me. So I wrote a math problem that made light of that. Kyra. What is the fraction that we will write for Kyra? T over 40. Agreed? What will we write for Billy Bob? Time over what? Uh-oh. I don't know how long it will take Billy Bob, do I? So what must I put there? Another variable, because it's unknown, yes? Now, we are seeking a minutes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put M. Everybody cool? But we do know how long it takes them together, which is how long? So what is the equation that I must write? T over 40 plus T over M will equal how many lawns mowed? 1. Correct? What do I do? What is my common denominator? 40M, right? Everyone agree? What does this need? What does this need? You're all missing something kind of important. How does the 24 fit in? What is 24? It's a time, isn't it? Because it's the time we know. So what's going here? 24. Nice. What's going here? 24. But now I need a common denominator. What do I need to multiply this by? What's the common denominator? It's 40M. So what does this guy need? 40M. And what's this guy need? Okay. All right. Okay. What should this be? No, because we know the T. What should this be? What should this be? Right? Equals how many lawns? 1. What's my common denominator? 40M, right? So, this needs what? M. Oh, I should change color. This needs what? M. This needs what? 40. This needs what? 40M. What do I get? 24M plus 960 equals 40M. Now what? $960 equals what? 16M. What does M equal? 60. How long is it going to take him to do the lawn? 1 hour. Billy Bob will take 60 minutes.
Damn, they're not slow.
Well, his girlfriend's sunbathing right beside him.
Yeah, but she took her 40 minutes.
Because there was no one sunbathing beside her. He's a teenage boy and his girlfriend's sunbathing by her. You think he's really paying attention to mowing the lawn?
Billy Bob is having empirical thoughts.
Okay. I'm letting you off the hook because number 4 is next to impossible. You will need to see that, and it will take like half of tomorrow's class. It's physics. Everybody's favorite.